Hey guys, wanted to go ahead and do a redo of a comparison between the Sennheiser MKH 416 and the RODE NTG5. I've done some new techniques lately, which make it more easier for people to tell the differences between sound. And so I'm going to start doing that. And what I'm going to do, it's literally the switcheroo. I'm just going to switch, and I think it's much more easier this way than kind of just having it all in one shot. So right now I'm switching to the RODE NTG5. Microphone check, testing 1, 2, 3. This is audio from the RODE NTG5, and this is how it sounds. Mic check, testing 1, 2, 3. In general, what I feel like is they do sound quite different, entirely different. I feel like the RODE NTG5 is much more muted, a little bit more rounded. Some might view it as more boring, but I actually prefer the RODE NTG5 for more long-term kind of videos. In fact, most of my YouTube videos, they are either recorded with the RODE NTG5 or with the Octava MK12, with a foam pad on top. Switching now. However, I feel like with the MKH 416, it can be like this microphone can be very, very sharp, very articulate, almost too much detail. And that could be a good thing or a bad thing. This microphone is constantly used in, I would say, like a lot of commercial work and things like that. But as you can see, it's a lot more articulate. I'm just going to say sizzle, right? You hear that? That can be pretty sharp on the ears. Switching now. Versus here, you see how it's muted. It's very much more muted. Now, in general, again, I think they sound really different. This microphone is much more, again, more rounded, a little bit more muted, kind of like to Rode's kind of like what their theme is, right? Switching off. Versus the MKH 416 is very sharp. And in my opinion, the MKH 416, it complements actors or voice, I would say people who have more of a baritone to bass to more deeper toned. But if you're more like, I would say like a tenor or more higher pitched, then in my opinion, this microphone would work better for you. And in my opinion, they're just very, very different. However, what I'm going to tell you right now is I don't like using this microphone in YouTube videos. I just think it's really harsh, and on a long-term, and I've known this because you got to understand, when I do a YouTube video, I'm constantly editing and hearing it over and over, and I'm like, holy shit, that 416 is harsh after a while. Versus the RODE NTG5, I often use this microphone like here and there throughout, and it's much more muted, much more easy to listen to long-term. So they are very different purposes in general. I think this microphone is better suited for someone who has more of a higher pitch or has more of a sibilant voice. Versus this microphone, I do not recommend for people who have a very sibilant voice. Like, tss, tss, tss. You see how harsh that is? That's like a needle right through the ear. Versus, I'm switching, tss, tss, tss. Not as bad, not as bad, Again, it's just a different tone all around. This is the microphone I like using for my YouTube videos personally, and actually I use this a lot. However, I do use this microphone kind of for other things, but, it's just can be viewed as very harsh, but they are very, very different. I think with YouTube compression, they do kind of sound the same, because I was actually looking at my old video, and they do sound pretty similar. I mean, in the video, but in real life, they sound really different. However, with this technique where I keep switching back and forth, you're going to see like, okay, yeah, they do sound different. At least hopefully you guys can see that. So that's why I'm doing this redo.